Okay, welcome back, everybody. We had another ritual in the NHL last night, Tuesday, January 17th, 2023. Ian Provorov of the Philadelphia Flyers boycotted the team's warm up against the Anaheim Ducks because he refused to wear a gay pride jersey during Pride Night in Philadelphia. And what I want to show you is that this was a ritual. This guy was not. They cited it because of his religion. Supposedly, he is of Russian Orthodox, and we know how in the United States the media loves to demonize Russians as it is. But this is all synced up with Luke Prokop, the first openly gay NHL player who came out as being homosexual on July 19th, 2021. So, and again, typically every time these teams have a gay pride night, I mean, just, and not only that, I mean, usually the riddle is awesome. I was torn on this game. I didn't even, I wasn't sure where they were going with this. I did not put out a pick on this game, but I remember when Vegas had their pride night, we knew that script 100% to the point. And the other thing is too in the NHL, pay attention to how often final scores on Pride Night in the NHL end 5-2. We'll get to why, but just pay attention to that. So often, more than any other. It doesn't happen every time, but so often, Pride Night games in the NHL, the final score is 5-2, and this game was no different. And we're going to get to why. But Ian Provorov refused to wear the Pride warm-up jersey, and as a result of it, he boycotted the team's warm-up. He still played in the game, but he boycotted the warm-up. And you know, I mean, if you followed the NHL at all, this was like the only thing that happened in hockey last night. The absolute only. I mean, Kevin Hayes scored a hat trick in this game. Didn't matter. You know what I mean? There were how many other games in the NHL last night? Didn't matter. This was the only story that mattered. And, you had ESPN and CNN and Fox News, doing their best job to spread the agenda that they want, that, oh, this is harmful and this is disrespectful and this is wrong on so many levels. But on the other hand, you look at this, other people might look at what Provorov did, and they might say, that's a real act of heroism because he stood up for his beliefs. He took a stand for what he believes in, and I can't even say what I really want to say right now. But again, the reason they're always pushing the transgenderism, and they want these people on the highest possible pedestal, and they're the only people you can't disrespect, right? You can destroy any other group of people. Can you make fun of men? Yes. Gay men? No. Can you make fun of women? Yes. Lesbians? No. I mean, again, you can see who's got the power in this society, and for all the twits on Twitter, the pronoun police that get upset about this, think about it this way. This guy stands up supposedly for, and again, none of these people are activists. These people are doing what they're told. They're actors. But if this was real, and this guy said, I am of the Russian Orthodox faith, and I don't want to wear a gay pride jersey because that's not what I stand for. That's not what I believe in. That's an honor of heroism. That is not him being ignorant or wrong to the LGBT community. He's not being disrespectful. Think about it this way. For any of the emasculated, trans activists out there that might happen to stumble across this video, which is pretty much impossible with YouTube censorship and how they bury you in algorithms. Think about it this way. Think about if the Philadelphia Flyers hosted a Christianity night, right? Think if they hosted a Christianity night and they handed out T-shirts that the fans were forced to wear. And those T-shirts read Christian conservative on it, or I support Christian conservatives. Would you wear that shirt? Especially being, a younger, emasculated, more than likely liberal person, with pronouns in your bio and probably the trans flag and the homosexual flag. Would you wear that shirt? I bet you wouldn't. I bet you'd be spamming all over Twitter and Facebook and Instagram saying, "Oh, we got to boycott the NHL, boycott the Philadelphia Flyers. This is bigotry. They should never be forcing their Christian conservative values on other people. I'm not going to wear that shirt. I don't want to support them religious lunatics." Right? That would be your view if they ever hosted a Christianity night. So why should somebody have to concede to you and give in to your agenda, give in to what you're forcing on people, which is you're a terrible human being if you're not part of the woke mob? See, that's hypocritical, right? So if you're upset because of what Ivan Provorov did, then you better be upset because of what Colin Kaepernick did, because it's the same damn thing. They were two men who stood up for their beliefs and did not give in to an agenda that was being forced on them. It's the same thing. But yet all the people who support Colin Kaepernick and what he stood up for are probably burying Ian Provorov right now. That's what a hypocrite is. That's the definition of hypocrisy. So now that the rant is out of the way, let's go ahead and look at Luke Prokop. Again, he was the first openly gay NHL player, and he did so on July 19th, 2021. And notice from that date to the date Provorov took the stand against the LGBT was exactly 547 days. 547 is the 101st prime number. And notice Philadelphia in the language of gematria sums to 101. Gematria is ancient occult knowledge that comes from the Kabbalah, that's Jewish mysticism that has the belief that God created the world with letters, numbers, and words, right? A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. Just like they taught you in the classroom. But what they didn't teach you is that the letters and numbers come together to create this ancient occult practice. Notice P, the 16th letter, H, the 8th, I, the 9th, L, the 12th, A, the 1st, D, the 4th, E, the 5th, L, the 12th, P, the 16th, H, the 8th, I, the 9th, A, the 1st, right? Added up 101. It's mathematics. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's math. It's math. And, the reason most people think this stuff is stupid and a conspiracy theory is because they're not intelligent. Math requires intelligence and critical thinking skills. Not a lot of people possess those. But notice right here, notice Luke Prokop. What's his birthday? 5'6", right? What do we know about that number? Society of Jesus number. May 6th, and from the date of this story, January 17th, to Luke Prokop's upcoming birthday was exactly 109 days, just like Anaheim Ducks, right? When you run the alphabetic order, Anaheim Ducks 109, 109 days to Prokop's upcoming birthday. You get the ritual. And don't forget that May 6th can also be written 6/5. The majority of the world, in fact, writes May 6th 5/6. In the United States, we do it backwards. Or they write a 6/5, excuse me. In the U.S., we do it backwards, 5/6. The Flyers were part of the 1967 NHL expansion, right there with the Penguins, the Kings, the Stars, the Blues, the Golden Seals, who are no longer in the NHL. Actually, technically they are, because they went on to become the Cleveland Barons, who merged with the Minnesota North Stars, who are now the Dallas Stars. But anyway, again, all of this stuff is connected. It's all interrelated. And again, as for the date 6/5, Philadelphia is 65 in the most pure cipher. But the gay community in Philadelphia, the gay community is at Washington Square West, which is another 109. And this cipher is the alphabetic order with in reverse with the rules of numerology, meaning you break every letter down to a single digit. So, like I said before, so often Pride night games in the NHL, the final score ends 5-2. And that's because Pride is 52 when you run the alphabetic order, 52 when you run it in reverse with the rules of numerology. And notice LGBT, right? This is what had me torn on this game. It had me really torn on this game because I didn't put this out to Patreon. The one you guys saw me put out the one when Vegas had their Pride night when they beat the Penguins, 5-2, and they got their 27th win of the season, and that's because penis and vagina are both 27. That's what they're doing today. They're brainwashing and taking advantage of the children, teaching them that there's no social construct. There's no, they don't even know the difference between a penis and a vagina. They think you can identify as a hamster. But and that's the other thing too. All these trans activists understand the government doesn't care about you. They're exploiting you. They're taking advantage of you. They're brainwashing you. They're getting you to believe nothing but bullshit. The reason they want you to be homosexual and transgender is, it's all part of their, it's all part of population control. You can only say so much on YouTube. But LGBT 67, Flyers established in 67. 67 is the 19th prime number. Look at the Flyers record, 19, 19, and 7. But what made this tricky was that had the Ducks won, they would have got their 31st points. Because if you don't know how the NHL works, you get 2 points for a win, 1 for an overtime loss. So you got 12 wins, 28 losses, and 5 overtime losses, right? So 12 times 2 is 24 plus 5 is 29. And Flyers in the most pure cipher is 31. Usually Flyers in 31 doesn't miss. I was thinking that till I saw the Flyers could get to 19 and 19. And I'm like, man, I'm going to leave that one off Patreon. Well, it wasn't as clear as that Penguins-Knights game. We knew that script to the T that night. But, again, the word hockey, 67. And again, the LGBT just dominates the world of hockey. And anytime, the NHL releases a statement about it, you get all the, pronoun police saying, what a horrible statement, from the NHL. Do better. It's not enough. Hockey is not for everyone and all this, no matter what you do, it's never enough. But notice the word boycott is also 28, right? Like how the Ducks got their 28th loss of the season. So, yeah, pretty nice little script again in the world of hockey. And I gotta say something about Paul Zeiss here. He writes for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Typically, I don't have much respect for people that write for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. I actually know this guy in person. I know he's got the verified check mark. He is on a Pittsburgh radio station. He's actually not a bad dude in public if you've ever met him. But he goes on, but I really think, he kind of hits the nail on the head. I mean, he talks about a lot of what, he talks a lot about what I was already saying. He says, let's be abundantly clear. All these theme nights, they're about, selling tickets and marketing, which they are, He goes on to say Provorov's decision was no different than Kaepernick's, which is absolutely true. He says they both stood tall in their beliefs. And I do like how he does say the proper definition of inclusion, because a lot of Gen Z doesn't really understand what the word inclusion means. The true definition, right? I disagree with those decisions, but respect the fact that they stood on what they believe in, and not everyone has to see the world the same as me. I mean, that's the definition of the word. You respect other people's decisions. And, the fact that someone has a different decision than you doesn't make it wrong. And, then somebody on here goes on to say, wait a second, the two cannot be compared because Kaepernick got kicked out of the league for it because he was black and expressed his beliefs. The two are not the same. And then he goes on to say they are exactly the same principle, which is true. Either you respect everyone's right to express their own opinion, protest, not participate in ceremonies, or you respect nobody's right. You can't pick or choose which ceremonies are okay to boycott or ask not to participate in. And he's right. You can't pick and choose what you think is right and what what isn't right. And I'll just say right now in my own life, I work at a Catholic high school. When I got fired from UPS back in 2020 for not wanting to wear the slave muzzle, and there was a little bit more to it. I mouthed off and said something I shouldn't have said to management. And if I had hindsight's 2020, but if I could go back, I would have executed my end game better. I'm not very proud of that, but in the heat of the moment, sometimes you say things that are wrong, and you regret that. But nobody's perfect. But again, like I work at a Catholic high school, right? And they're a school where so many, they have mass, they say a morning prayer. When they change classes, a church bell rings. And in the morning, they also sing the Pledge of Allegiance. I hadn't heard the Pledge of Allegiance in probably 20 years till I started working there. And the thing is, if I'm working, everybody's very nice. They're very polite. They don't force they know I don't share the same political views as them, or the same, well, political, I guess, as well, but they know I don't share the same religious views as them. I'm not a Christian. I'm not Catholic. I'm not religious. I think religion is the plague of the planet. But because I don't stand, when they give a prayer, I continue to work, or I continue to, walk past people who like to, bless themselves at the altar. They don't look at me and go, Shane, how dare you? How dare you don't do that? When we pray, you stand. You're a bigot. You're anti-Christian. They don't do any of that. They just look at it as, this is what I believe is right. And again, I don't share their views, but they don't look at it as, well, he should be doing the exact same thing. They just look at it as, he has different views, and I respect that. And that's the way you need to be in society. And you need to have these very based, very calm conversations with people and be able to explain this to people. Just like again, somebody who doesn't want to wear a jersey during a gay pride night at a sporting event, which shouldn't even exist. I mean, again, before society became pussified, this didn't exist 25 years ago. You went back to the turn of the century, this didn't exist. But nowadays, again, it all ties into population control. But that's just it. You have to respect somebody else's views. If somebody doesn't share the exact same views as you, that's okay. It's okay. And people need to understand that. And look no further than me. I'm living proof of it for 8 hours a day, 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m., soon to be 1:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. But again, so many people, they get taken by it. And, you learn this simple number code behind it, and you see the ritual every time. So, yeah, we'll leave it there, guys. We don't want to give YouTube a reason to censor this video, although they're liable to find a way. But I'll leave it there, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Till next time.